Get ready to enter the Thrivetime Show.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of five, that's why I'm a dive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here.
Hello, Green Country. Hello, Tulsa. Hello, America. And hello, potentially other planets. Welcome to the Thrivetime Show during your drive time home. And yes, this is Clay Clark. I'm the former SBA Entrepreneur of the Year in your ear. And as you're driving home, the idea of this show is to teach you how to specifically start and grow a successful business. And so, as always, I'm joined here with the co-host with the most, a guy who's had success as an optometrist, who's had success as an auto auction owner, who's had success as a thoroughbred horse breeding facility owner guy. He's had success in the durable medical equipment business. He's had success as a board member of a bank. He's just an awesome dude. He's a great entrepreneur. It's Dr. Robert Zellner. Sir, how are you?
Oh, thank you, Clay, for that introduction. It's so humbling. And I tell you what, I've learned the harder I work, the luckier I get, right? So
this just in.
This just in from the headquarters of Thrivetime Show.
And I will tell you this, never have I had more Dayquil than today. So you are not only, do you sound great, but you just visually.
Is one of me, or is there two of me now?
There's two of you at this point. I've had an entire bottle of Dayquil, basically. So I am here ready to.
Well, as the show goes on, we'll be able to switch over to NyQuil before too long. So.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, that'll be exciting. Maybe second hour we'll be on NyQuil. So.
Now, we have a guest today, very special guest. It's Dr. Vin Mova. Dr. Mova, how are you, sir?
Doing great, sir. I'm between you guys. I feel wonderful today.
Now, for people who are listening who don't know who you are or what you do, how can you help the listeners? What kind of services do you provide in terms of medical resources? What kind of services do you provide?
Sure. I'm a medical practitioner in town, and I do a specialty called interventional orthopedics, which is regenerative orthopedics, which is a new thing people are hearing now regarding stem cells, plasma-rich platelets. So it's more like a non-invasive, non-surgical treatments for commonly occurring conditions like arthritis, sports injuries, you just name it.
So if I'm listening right now and I have a sports injury,
yes,
or I have arthritis, I've got to give you a call.
Absolutely.
And what can you do for me, though?
Well, I'll take a look at you and see what you need and see if I can treat you and if you're a candidate. And then we can get you the best treatment possible. And
secretly, just as a little secret move, he's a visionary. And for those of you who don't know Dr. Mova, I'm telling you, this guy is an entrepreneur. He's a doctor, and he reminds me a lot of Dr. Zellner. Because Dr. Z, you are an entrepreneur trapped inside an optometrist's body. So many people, when they hear the word doctor, they think...
We're a doctor. I'm not... He's a real doctor. I'm kind of just I'm like a heart doctor. You know?
Many people, they'll think they typecast you guys and say, you're doctors, and therefore, this is how you're going to be. But you're very much entrepreneurial there, Dr. Mova.
Well, I'm trying to be like you, Clay. I mean, so I'm trying. Yeah,
now, tell the listeners about your pro football team if people want to get involved.
Yeah, this is super cool, by the way.
Yeah.
Sure. So we have a team in town, Tulsa. It's a semi-pro football team. Basically, most of the ex-college standouts as well as some NFL standouts will play on the team. We have a really strong team in the community, and we give opportunity for these guys to show their talents and also have a chance for them to go back up into the big leagues again. And we've been doing that for the last 6 years, and we put up a pretty good unit out there.
This is the Tulsa Thunder, Oklahoma Thunder?
Yeah, it is called Oklahoma Thunder football team.
Yeah, and where can people go watch the games?
Yeah, we play at Holland Hall High School. We just finished the season and we won the national championship. So,
woo!
So they have to.
Yeah,
he's a winner. You can smell
Oklahoma.
it. Unbelievable.
Woo,
well,
champions.
Today we're talking about the 7 principles for achieving success through having a positive mental attitude. And why I wanted to talk to you about this particular subject is that you have come over to a new country. I mean, you left. Where did you grow up?
India.
India, is that near Okmulgee?
Yeah, very close, but you still got to travel 24 hours.
So, I mean, seriously, when you hop on a flight, how long is the flight?
Well, I frequently travel to India. I just came back like 2 days ago, so I'm still don't know if I'm in the daytime or nighttime. So it literally takes 24 hours from home to home.
Or do you go there for the curry, or why are you going there? Is it you just can't get that authentic curry chicken here in the States? Why are you going back?
No, we're getting better in curry in this country, so
Okay.
I'm not really going for the curries, but there are a lot of other things, as you said.
A lot of business
we're
deals.
doing some football as well, and we're doing some medicine as well. Their family and other.
So it could be said that you're an international man of mystery, really. It could be said. It could be said. Now, so we're talking about the 7 principles for achieving success through having a positive mental attitude. Principle number 1, you must cherish your dreams and visions. My favorite author of all time, Napoleon Hill, I named my son after this author. He is the business coach of Oral Roberts. He was the personal apprentice of Andrew Carnegie. He says this: cherish your vision and your dreams as they are the children of your soul, the blueprints of your ultimate achievements.
You're listening to the Thrivetime Show on Talk Radio 1170.
Z, when did you first get the vision to move beyond mediocrity? Because you grew up, you didn't have any money, you had a huge family. At what point where you said, I am not going to live? I mean, when did you mentally flip the switch and say, I'm going to have a different financial status, I'm going to have a different level of success, I'm going to do things differently than how I've grown up?
When I was a teenager.
Okay.
And when I was a teenager, I got my first job when I was 13. And, the magic of working and getting paid for it, you're like, oh my gosh, I can control my destiny. I can do something about my life. It's very liberating, very magical. And so, you're the one that sets the limits on your life.
Wow.
Did you know that, Clay? You set the limits on your life. I'm here to do the guardrails for you on the show,
Yep.
but you set the limits for your life. And when I was a teenager, I thought, you know what? I'm not just going to survive. I am going to thrive.
What for the people who don't know you and they don't know your background, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
Oh, the short answer is 7. I have 5 brothers and one. There were 7 of us, 6 boys and 1 girl growing up. The long answer is there's 13, which I won't overestimate anyone's interest in that story.
Did you have one? You have one dad, 2 dads? How many dads were in your life?
Well, I had my biological father, and then an adoptive father, and now a stepfather.
Okay, and so for anyone listening right now who's maybe had different dads, different brothers, sisters, stepbrothers, you've gone through that whole thing.
Done it. Been there, done it.
And you wouldn't say this about you, but I'm going to say this about you. You've become sort of like the rock of the family. You're the rock.
Yeah, well,
You're the rock.
Kind of the dense big one. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, people come home to roost with you. You've kind of like become sort of like the nucleus of the family, and you wouldn't say that about yourself. I'm saying all your brothers and sisters, you've kind of become a force of stability as it relates to the economic viability of the Zellner clan.
Yeah, I would say so. I'm one of the leaders of the family. Yes.
But you changed your reality.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what this show's going to try to encourage everybody out there to listen to. We know through Forbes, which is a thing, that there's a big percentage of you out there want to start your own business, want to grow a business you've just started. I mean, it's like 57% of you, and so that's quite a bit. That's more than half. I mean, it's just math, right?
So, Dr. Mova, when you're sitting around and you're 24, when did you move to the United States?
Yeah, 24. Yeah.
Okay, so what town did you live in India? What town were you in?
It's the 5th biggest in India, called Hyderabad. It's
Hyderabad?
a South Indian. Yeah.
So you're hanging out in Hyderabad. How big was the house you grew up in?
We have a decent house. I would say 4,000 square foot.
4,000?
Yeah.
Were you like at the top of the caste system? Were you like the ruler? I mean, what?
No. I mean, we're well to do. I mean, like my dad is a successful businessman, so very thankful for him to give us opportunities to do whatever we want to do.
When did you decide to move?
Just a couple of years prior to that, and because I was doing my medical school right there, and it's a natural extension to get to the next level in medicine. So most of the kids in India doing medicine look up to the Western world for more advances and stuff, and so that's how I just came down to Chicago. That was my first place.
Chicago?
Yeah.
Were you scared?
No, we're excited. And
When you hopped on that plane, you weren't scared?
No, not at all.
You're wild.
No, I mean, it was a great opportunity to be away from the house, and it was very exciting.
Had you visited the States before, or was that your first time in the United States?
Yeah, I was here a couple other times prior to that visit, so maybe that's something to do with it as well.
Yeah.
So you hopped on a plane for 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
You land here. Did you have a vision in your mind of what you wanted your career to become?
Not right then. My vision was to eat some burgers and things.
Really?
do some things that I've never done in India. That kind of stuff. Just hang out and experience America, basically travel and do all that thing. But obviously you're right. There's something behind my. I came here for a reason, right? I want to pursue my further education. But so yeah.
You wanted to eat burgers. What else did you want to do that was kind of the American dream? I'm just curious. I want to know. I mean, did you want to watch like an unbelievable amount of Dukes of Hazzard episodes, or what? Is there anything else on your list there? That
No, because most of the television stuff we did watch there, but I've never watched an NFL game in India. So that's how. And I also lived in Wisconsin a couple months prior to moving to Chicago, so I became a Packer fan.
Really, Brett Favre? You love Brett Favre?
That's my guy.
I love Brett Favre. That's why we love each other. It's the Brett Favre connection.
That's my guy. Yeah. So that was a great thing for me, and that's how I ended up in football. Even now. So there's instant connection, and continue to pursue that.
So it could be said that the reason why the NFL or professional sports, is being brought to professional football is being brought to India. The reason why professional football is being taken to India, being exported to India, is really Brett Favre.
Kurt Warner. Yep.
Okay, these guys motivated you though.
Yeah, absolutely, and we work with them, and they're amazing ambassadors of the game. Yeah.
Now, when we come back, Thrivers, we're going to be talking about principle number 2, is you can begin changing your world now. Now, Z, not later, but now. You can begin changing your world now. This is something you don't have to put off. So if you're listening right now and you've ever wanted to start or grow a business, you can begin doing that now. Thrivetime Show. Hello, Thrivers. Welcome back to the Thrivetime Show during your drive time home. Many of you are in a car right now. You're headed home back to your house, and you're just going, man, today was stressful. And at some point, I want to start my own business. Or maybe you have a business and you're going, I just want my business to do well. I just want my business to succeed. I'm so tired of being stuck in this rut. And that's why you've tuned in. And so today we have a great conversation going today. We are talking about the 7 principles for achieving success through having a positive mental attitude. And for somebody who's listening going, I don't want to talk about walking on coals, and I don't want to talk about beach balls and Tony Robbins, and work with me though. This is a thing. This is a real thing. See, if somebody has a negative mental attitude, how does it affect the way you deal with them? I mean, from your perspective, if you have an employee, a team member, a partner, and they're negative, how does that affect things if they don't have a positive mental attitude?
Well, when they're being a negative Nancy, pardon all the women out there named Nancy, and maybe some men, I don't know. I mean, names are kind of just bantered around now. There's no
transgender
yes,
Nancy's.
Nancy,
we
whatever.
apologize for offending you.
Anybody named Nancy.
My name is Nancy.
But when you're being negative, I tell you what, people just don't want to be around you. So it's like those magnets that repel each other. And when people don't want to be around you, that's not good for business. And if they work for you, they're leaving a negative trail through the patients or through the customers that come in your store. And I tell you what, folks, you may be saying something, but your body and the way that you're saying it is just as important, or maybe more important. So if you're in a bad state of mind, yeah, and you could be saying the right thing. Hello and welcome to Dr. Zellner and Associates.
Happy to have you here, bro.
Happy to. So glad you're here.
Yeah.
What did you really say? You didn't say what you just said.
Yeah.
You just said, man, I'm bummed out. I'm being a Nancy.
Yeah.
And I really want you to leave.
Had a speaking event in Houston. Go into the Subway sandwich place. I said, how are you? The person says, you're my last customer. Just trying to get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm going, what? I mean, this person is a sandwich artist.
An artiste.
They could have said, I'm doing great. How are you? They said, well, you're my last customer. I'm just trying to get out of here.
Yeah.
And they
So
say that it makes you feel like you're marginalized, like they don't want to be there with you. And so we're talking today about specifically how to make this positive mental attitude. So principle number 1 is you must cherish your dreams and visions. Principle number 2, you can begin changing your world now. I'm going to read you a notable quotable from Napoleon Hill, the guy who was the personal apprentice of the late great Andrew Carnegie. He says, "You are the master of your destiny. You can influence, direct, and control your own environment. You can make your life what you want it to be." He goes on to say, "Do not wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand and work whatever tools you may have at your command, and better tools will be found as you go along." Zeke, when you started, man, you had this vision to be a successful entrepreneur. You didn't have a bunch of money. Where did you start? Where did that beginning happen for you?
This is going to sound crazy. It started with what they call, it's a 3-letter word. Starts with a J and it ends in a B, and it has a vowel in the middle, kind of shaped like an Oreo cookie, called job.
I think that's unethical, though, for people to have to be enslaved and to have a job.
Well, I tell you what, I stood around and I waited for someone just to hand it to me.
Yeah.
And I got tired of waiting, so I thought, well, I guess I'll go get a job. So went and worked, perfected my craft, like the Subway guy, like the artist. I was an eyeball artist.
You became a virtuoso of the eyeball.
I learned on somebody else's nickel some mistakes, Went, I probably shouldn't do that. That didn't go so well,
Yeah.
And then once you save some money and you get an opportunity, you've wowed those around you, and then you get that opportunity.
You save some money?
Is that crazy? Is that?
I mean, that seems weird.
That doesn't help the economy.
Wasn't there some type of government program that you were able to get immediate funding from?
Get another credit card.
Wasn't there some kind of entrepreneurial incubator program that gave you millions of dollars?
We just had a recession because nobody was spending enough money, and I feel horrible about that. No, yes, save some money. Get your war chest, as I like to call it. Okay. Get your war chest built up, and then you start small because you can't afford. I had a young man come up to me the other day and said, "Bro, I got a great idea, bro. Coffee shop changed the world, bro.
Huge, make our own beans.
I just need $250,000, bro. $250,000, bro.
We grow our own beans in a greenhouse, bro.
Bro, it's gonna blow everyone's mind,
the way we make those beans in the greenhouse."
I looked at this young man and said, "Oh, that sounds like a great idea. You've got a good vision there. Have you ever, worked in a coffee shop?" "No, bro. You don't understand, bro.
I'm more management. I'm more visionary.
This is gonna change the world. Starbucks is nothing, bro. This coffee's gonna blow. It's gonna dominate. You know how many Starbucks are out there, bro? I'm just talking 250,000. I get this thing rolling, bro." I'm like, "Hey, I tell you what. Why don't you go work in a coffee shop for maybe a year
at a job
or more, and then you can start small somewhere. You can start a little coffee cart in a hospital lobby."
Do I have to have a job, though?
I need reclaimed wood. Bro, I need reclaimed wood all the way around it,
from
bro.
Heavener, Oklahoma.
Old bricks, man, from a store they tore down in Pawhuska, bro. I can get those if I just had the money, bro, and I could make an epic coffee shop.
Never had a job, but I totally will do well with my first business.
Totally will do well, bro. I've got it all up here in my mind.
I want to ask Dr. Mova this. Dr. Mova, when you first started, when you first got going, because you today are doing very, very well, but when did it occur to you that you were in control of your own life and that you could begin changing your world now? When did that idea happen?
Well, obviously, like when we get out of it, we try to look for security, and obviously to work with somebody else, get to know what the nuances of the business and taking care of the patients. So I started my first job in Tulsa.
Tulsa.
Dr. Royal was the gentleman, offered me the first job.
Cool.
Because I wanted to go back to Chicago after I came down to Tulsa for the sports medicine fellowship program.
Yeah.
Once that's done, I wanted to go back to Chicago again. But he said, like, "Hey, come back, do it." So that was my first job. And then once you start establishing contacts with the patients, and then you start involving in their lives, and you see the feedback from them, and it just becomes automatic for you to hey, I want to make that happen. I want to do more and more for that. And that was the beginning of the next further growth from
How long did you have your first job?
I was there for 2 years before I started my own practice.
2 years. Now, if people are listening right now, again, I know when we say 2 years, it's so fast. It's just a couple syllables, actually. 2 years, 2 syllables. It's very fast. When you read autobiographies, it's quick. It's fast. You read it. You read the book in like 10 hours, and you go, oh wow. But 2 years. Z, how long did you work for the optometry business that you worked with before you started your own thing?
1 year.
1 year.
1 year.
12 months.
12 months.
But you had to work. I mean, you're working 7 days.
It was actually probably a year and a half. I'm sorry.
A year and a half? But you're working like 7 days a week at that point. Is that right?
No, when I started my practice, I was working 7 days a week. And leading up to it, they're right there at the end, yes. So
how many years did you work 7 days a week?
That's a good question. Probably 2 or 3, maybe 4.
These are things that people want to skip over, though. They want to go, you mean I have to have a job for like 2 years?
What?
I've got to work 7 days a week for like 3 years? I mean, I was watching this TED Talks.
I want to start at the finish line.
And I realized it's just TED Talks I was watching, and what I could do is if I could make millions. I got this app I'm working on, and if I could just unleash the app, and in like 2 months I'll be a millionaire.
It'll go viral, bro.
It'll be viral. I'll make this YouTube video, and then bam, I'll be wealthy. Unbelievable. But Thrivers, we're going to teach you the specific moves that you need to apply in your own life to be successful through having a positive mental attitude. Principle number 3 when we come back. Hello, Tulsa. Welcome back to the Thrivetime Show during your drive time home. My name is Clay Clark. I'm the former SBA Entrepreneur of the Year, and I have ingested enough Dayquil to kill a small goat. Woo! And today we are talking about how to achieve success through having a positive mental attitude and a bunch of Dayquil. And so we're getting into the principles, the super moves, the things you can apply in your own life to move beyond where you are and to get you to where you want to be. I have done it, and I will tell you, I don't have a whole lot of if you study me and you go, is he really smart? No. Is he like do you have like can you jump really high? No. Do you have a super singing voice? No. Do you have any superpowers? No. But I'll tell you what I'd have. I have a myopic and complete white hot passion and focus about whatever it is that I'm doing at that time, and I will not lose, period. My whole concept is I will not lose. I remember reading back in the day, there's a book about Jay-Z called The Empire State of Mind, and he says, I will not lose. I love it. I love it.
Love it.
Love that idea. I will not lose. I'm all in, man. I'll burn my boats, but I'm not going back. You know what I'm saying? So I get on my boat. I take my boat. I get off. My boat lands on your coast. I get my guys out. I say, guys, there's about 50 of us. There's about 400 of them. My guys say, how are we going to beat these guys? I said, well, step number 1, let's burn our boats. Step number 2, we have no method of retreat.
No plan B, baby.
No plan B, baby. And that's how you do it. So this principle number 3 is you must have a definite chief aim. This is what Napoleon Hill says about it. Napoleon Hill, he says, set your mind on a definite goal and observe how quickly the world stands aside to let you pass. He goes on to say, when your desires are strong enough, you will appear to possess superhuman powers to achieve. Dr. Z, Robert Zellner, sir, why do you have to set your mind on a definite chief aim? Why can't you just be drifting around and just kind of going from idea to idea? You know, why do you have to focus on one thing?
I remember back in college, there was a dude, the dude.
Yeah, the dude.
Everybody knew the dude that was like, changed his degree, I don't know how many times. It was like 87 times, changed his degree.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like, I'm like, dude, you're going to spend the rest of your life in college. Yeah, I know, bro. I'm just trying to
find my emphasis in humanities, but my major is history, but I'm going back for a little business
bro,
sprinkled in.
Yeah, business management, maybe, bro. I think I'm, I tell you what, when you don't have a main aim, when you have no target, I mean, it's just like, you might as well, it's like just shooting random. It's like, I'm going to hit something.
I don't want to choose the wrong thing. I just want to, I don't know how to make the wrong decision.
You know what? If we let that stand in the way, no one would ever get anything done.
But see, I don't want to offend anybody. My mom wants me to become a doctor, but my mom and dad aren't married. So my dad wants me to become a landscaper, but my mom is still wanting me to become a doctor. And then there's this girl I'm dating, and she is really attractive, and she wants me to get into social science.
Just slap. Here's what you need to do. What excites you? What stimulates you? What challenges you. What do you want? What do you want to do? You know, I had an Aunt Connie. We all have an Aunt Connie in our lives. God rest her soul. She was a lovely lady. But she was, I remember one time she pulled me aside and she said, I am so disappointed in you.
I'm so disappointed in you, Z. Unbelievable.
I'm so disappointed in you. And I said, oh, why, Aunt Connie? And she said, well, you know, you were smart enough to be a real doctor instead of just an optometrist. I could have been like Dr. Move over here and been like a real doctor with stem cell technology. We're going to dive into that because everybody's always throwing that out, stem cells
You
technology.
could have been a real doctor,
You
Z.
could have been like an MD, like a real doctor.
I can't believe I'm your aunt. You're unbelievable.
I'm so disappointed in you. And I'm so disappointed that you didn't go on and do all that you could do. And I looked at her and I said, Aunt Connie, you know what? I validate your concerns. I mean, those are yours, but don't put those on me. Don't put your expectations on me. I'm doing exactly what I want to do. And oh, by the way, I help people see better, which is a pretty cool thing. Oh, by the way, you know, and I'm happy.
I'm disappointed, Robert. I'm disappointed. Unbelievable.
I'm doing what I want to do, and therefore I'm content. And I'm not going to let your expectations and your Aunt Connie-ness come on to me and, you know, bum me out because I'm not doing what you want me to do. So you're more than welcome to have your opinions, but I'm good.
Has having a definite chief aim ever irritated anybody in the history of your career? Have you ever had to just run right through somebody because you had a definite chief aim and they push back?
Absolutely. I tell you what, if you don't ever want to have any enemies in life, if you don't ever want to upset anybody, just be a complete failure, and you will not upset anybody.
Hey, and before someone goes to judge you, Aristotle, back in the day, you can Google this mess. Aristotle, you know, wise wizard guy, the Greek philosopher, you know. He goes on to say that he says basically, if you want to offend nobody, do nothing.
Yeah.
That's the key. You know, that's the move. I'm paraphrasing, but Google it. It's crazy. All I'm saying is that if you're listening right now and you want to get every single person in the world to endorse your idea, your strategy, your move, Dr. Bova, you're bringing football to India.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been told you're nuts?
Many times. I've been told that all the time, except like maybe one or two. But, yeah, exactly.
So India, now why do you want to bring football to India?
Well, I mean, multiple reasons. The number one reason is my passion. You know, I love sports, and, you know, my specialty is sports medicine, so it's a natural extension for me. Number two is, passion should not lead me into a stupid business decision either. So we studied the market very well, and India is like an expanding, growing, sports base, basically.
And somebody's listening right now. Before we come back after the break, we're going to get more into it. But you've been on 60 Minutes. You've actually been on 60 Minutes with you and Kurt Warner talking about bringing football to India. It's a crazy thing. It was kind of crazy to bring curry chicken to America, and now you're bringing football back to India. It's unbelievable. It's Dr. Move. When we come back, we're going to get into the idea of exporting football into India. Hello, Thrive Nation. Welcome back to the Inspiration Station. This is your audio dojo of mojo. It's like your virtual mobile classroom. You're looking for business school without the BS, and yes, you found it. So now stick on this dial here for a while. You don't want to move too fast. You're listening to 1170 Talk Radio, and you found the Thrivetime Show today. We're joined here. We have a very special guest. We have Dr. Vin Mova. Sir, how are you?
Great, sir. Thank you.
For people who are listening and going, what do you do, my friend? What is your core competency? What kind of business are you involved in?
Yeah, I'm a physician, medical doctor, so I do treat joints predominantly, orthopedics, but not surgical orthopedics. We call it regenerative orthopedics with the stem cell technology and plasma-rich platelets. So biological products from your own body. So we use those things.
Well, we have a lot of Oklahomies listening. A lot of great people, by the way. Oklahoma has a lot of great people. I will tell you this. We've got a great economy, great people, but there's a lot of people listening. And somebody right now, Z, Dr. Robert Zellner, co-host with the Mo-Ost on the show here today. Dr. Robert Zellner.
Happy Thursday. You're driving home. Thanks for tuning in. You've almost made another week.
Someone's listening right now, though, and they're saying, hey, man, I have no idea what you're talking about with platelets and all that knee stuff. What do you do for people? How does it work?
Sure. Let me give you one example. Like, what's the most common thing that we do? Somebody has a knee problem. It could be an injury. It could be an arthritis, which, I mean, I'm pretty sure like all of, some of your, old folks in the house complaining about knees. So that's the most common thing I see.
My knees hurt constantly, Z. Every time I go anywhere, I just,
can't stand it.
Yeah. So they come in with different kind of problems. It could be some early wear and tear or an injury. So not everybody is needing surgery to correct that thing. So now we have technologies where, hey, you have an early stage arthritis or even moderate stage arthritis. So we can use your own body's capabilities. Your body is capable, but you have an area that's kind of damaged. So what we do is like we take the biological product, which is the stem cells from another part of your body, and reintroduce into the target areas. And in turn, patient.
Wait. You take cells from another part of the body?
Yes.
What
yeah.
part of the body?
Yeah, so our body has big reservoirs of stem cells, which would be the most common area that we take is called the iliac crest. It's in the back of your, in general terms, you can call that as a hip bone, but not exactly a hip joint. It's in the back of your lower back area.
You take it out, does it hurt?
Well, it's a misnomer because it's not a biopsy we're doing. It's just an aspiration. So it's a needle guided procedure. So nowhere it involves cutting or suturing, none of those things. So there will be some local anesthetic will be given. So it's, I would say, very tolerable, and very rarely we have anybody even complaining about pain. So you trust me on that.
So you take stem cells out of one part of the body, you put it into another part of the body. Next thing you know, you're avoiding surgery and you're feeling better with your joints?
Most of the patients that can do that. And again, there are certain cases where it's too far gone.
Okay, we got two doctors on the set. Does this even make sense? Z, does this make sense to you?
I'll tell you what, I'm still trying to figure out the whole kind of thing, No, yeah, of course it does, and it's actually it's a thing now.
It's a thing.
And if you can keep from having surgery, because surgery has complications.
Yeah.
Surgery can lead to other things going wrong, as we all know. I mean, there's no 100% when you start talking surgery. So this is a thing, and it's pretty exciting technology, and I know he's on the forefront of it. So right here in Tulsa, pretty exciting stuff.
I kind of wish I would have had a surgery-free vasectomy, but that's another show. I wish I would have known about you. And
that's on a different channel, I think, on Saturday morning. So
all right. So we're talking about how to have success through having a positive mental attitude today. And principle number 3 is you must have a definite chief aim. Now, your aim is to bring professional football to India.
This is crazy.
Z, does this sit right
crazy.
with you?
This is crazy. I tell you what, it's so fun though. You think about it. I mean, that's what the world needs. They need more America. More America.
Why do you believe in this idea, Mr. Mova?
Well, I mean, finally, my wife started believing it now, so I'm okay. I got to support her right
Your
now.
wife's a great lady, Mova.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, as I said, passion's got to drive everything, and that's the forefront of this initiative. But again, it does make business sense as well. So you have 1 billion people, and half of that population is below 25 years of age. And organized sports are catching up in India. So you have seen these new sports coming in, and they're kind of overnight successes because of that sheer population and their hunger for action sports.
So let me make sure that I'm understanding this.
You're listening to the Thrivetime Show on Talk Radio 1170.
So you've got the world's most popular sport in professional football.
Well, the world is the United
America,
States, yes.
Because soccer is the world's most popular.
The other football.
But soccer is the world's most popular. But in America, America's number one sport is professional football, and you're going to bring that to the world's largest country.
Yes.
Okay. Now it's starting to make a little bit more sense. So we're moving on here to this principle number 4. You are either attracting or repelling people. Napoleon Hill says this. You may be hurt if you love too much, but you will live in misery if you love too little.
Wow, that's deep.
Napoleon. Unbelievable. He goes on to say, this is before we move on, I just want to make sure we marinate on this. He is saying that if you love somebody, you're going to get hurt. But if you love too little, you're going to live in misery. Z, talk to me. I mean, you've had to fire people. You've had to let people go. People have stolen from you. Has anyone ever stolen from the Dr. Robert Zellner empire? Has anyone ever stolen? Any employees ever stolen some stuff?
Yes. In fact, this is going to sound crazy, but 25 years ago when I first started my practice, my very first employee did it. And it was awkward.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, that's just so painful because you you're giving these people a salary. I mean, you're paying them. You feel like they're on the team with you, and then it's just so dirty. It's just the trust.
Coach me though. If I'm listening right now and I go, every time I trust somebody, they screw me, and that's why I live alone in a van down by the river.
How's that working out for you?
Well, I mean, what advice would you have for somebody who's saying that's why I don't talk to people?
Well, the advice is this: is that you're going to have failures, and you just don't dwell on those. You dwell on are you going to be a half glass full or half empty? And nobody's glass is completely full, folks. No one's is. We all have something missing in our glass. You're going to focus on the part that's missing. You're going to focus on the part where you have something in there. And that's what you do with the relationships, right, Clay?
I will tell you this. I have got to a point in my life where I had to stop reading it because I got so obsessed with it for a while. I love Benjamin Franklin. Like, I love reading his stuff.
I mean, he made the mullet. I mean, the mullet. He had like a serious mullet.
He made the mullet.
Or skullet. He had maybe a skullet, right?
Yeah, well, he had just he had looked very professional in the front, but he had that party in the back.
Oh, he was, you could tell he's partying.
Let me give you some fun facts about Benjamin Franklin. Most people listening don't know this, okay? He was a leading author, okay? He was a printer. He was a political theorist. He was a politician. He was a postmaster. He was a scientist. He invented the Franklin stove. He invented the bifocals, the lightning rod. And America, we were trying to get the support of the French, right? Because we're fighting this war.
Oh, yes.
And we did not have the funding needed. So guess who got the funding? The number one pitch of all time, and this is you talk about venture capital. The guy who got the funding and the troops and the support and the ammo, Benjamin Franklin. This guy was he lived like 6 lifetimes, and he says this. He says, "He that would live in peace and at ease must not speak all that he knows or all he sees."
Oh, marinate on that.
Now this right here is a young entrepreneur. This was hard for me. Because people now will call me and they'll say, "Clay, could you help me grow my business?" I will tell you, if you want me to help you grow your business, generate you web leads, or get to the top of Google, definitely I can do it. It's just the thing is, I didn't invent Google. I just know how Google works. So if you want to get to the top of Google, you just go to info@thrive15.com. I'll get you there. But here's a little secret, okay? Whoever has the most content and the most backlinks and the most canonical compliance wins. So if you're in the medical industry and you want to be top in Google, it doesn't change. So you either have to write a bunch of podcasts that we transcribe, you do a bunch of videos that we transcribe, or you let my team write stuff that at no point makes sense, but we will do it for you and you'll get to the top of Google. Either way, that's how Google works. You have to have the most content. And so what happens is people will come to me and they will say, "Could you help me?" And I will coach those people. But people who do not come to me, I do not coach those people. I'm going to repeat.
What?
People who come to me, I will coach those people. People who do not come to me, I will not coach those people.
That seems so unfair.
So the other day, where my wife and I are out to eat, there's a guy whose business sucks. Every part of it sucks like a Hoover, and he does not sell vacuums. It's just like terrible.
Bad.
It's like a vacuum. And he's just talking about how he's at the bottom of Google. He can't move up to the top. And he's not asking me for help. So I don't offer advice. I used to, though, want to give advice. And see, what typically happens when you give somebody advice and they're not asking for advice?
Nothing, because they don't heed it.
They don't want it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't, listen, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. So they've got to be thirsty. They've got to want it. They've got to be pursuing it. Otherwise, it's just a waste of time. It's so frustrating. Nobody wants to don't waste your time.
As an entrepreneur right now, if you're listening and you want to start a business, this might be an epiphany for you. If you want to be likable, if you want to build a reputation, don't run around giving advice to people who are not asking for advice. Now, when we come back, we're going to be talking about principle number 5. You must see yourself as a success. Now, today we're honored to have Dr. Vin Mova, one of the leading physicians in Tulsa here, helping people who have pain in the knees. They've got arthritis. He's a stem cell expert. He's going to be talking to us a little bit more about this. You must see yourself as a success. All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrivetime Show during your drive time home. My name is Clay Clark. I might potentially be America's most pale male. And if you are not watching right now on Facebook Live, you're really missing out on a whiteout. I mean, you're missing out on a whole... You tune in, you could burn your retina looking at that white light. Just sear your retina. I mean, and to verify the medical proof that this could potentially happen, we have an optometrist on the show. who knows a little thing about how to injure the human eye. It's Dr. Robert Zellner. Sir, if you look at a super bright light, seriously, if you look at like a laser or a super white light, what could happen to your eye?
Well, you can burn the retina. I mean, that's what people do. They look at the sun without protection, and they can actually burn the retina.
So, how do you help protect people's retinas? I mean, if one of your patients comes in, how can they? What are some things they can do? What are some things they can buy that could help them protect their retinas?
Well, you want to make sure that when you're getting sunglasses, and sunglasses actually, if they don't have ultraviolet protection on, there can be worse. Because what'll happen is with sunglasses, it darkens it, so your eyes dilate a little bit. In other words, the pupil gets larger, allowing more ultraviolet rays in. So if you get sunglasses that don't have the proper ultraviolet protection on there, it can actually be it can be worse on your eyes than to not have them. But you want to make sure you have good ultraviolet, because it's the wavelengths that you don't actually see that are not the visible ones that do the most damage.
Now, did that get too techy? I never go outside. I feel like my retinas are good. I've got a good
they're
thing
good. You're good.
But my vitamin D is down.
I know. I'm trying to get you to get more vitamin D.
I got to get that vitamin D.
I know.
Can you explain to the Thrivers the final? Because this is business school without the BS, but this is the final medical tip here. What happens for guys like me who never go outside? Why do we need to go outside eventually or get some vitamin D?
Well, your skin, your epidermis, manufactures vitamin D, but it gets stimulated by the sun to do that. So, like a guy like you that hides from the sun, never is in the sun,
a vampire.
You have to supplement your vitamin D. So that's why we start putting it in milk and some other ways to get it. But we kind of went from a society where everybody worked outside. You worked on the farm. You got plenty of sun. You have plenty of vitamin D. And if you don't have plenty of vitamin D, then you tend to get sick more often.
Unbelievable. Well, we're moving on.
And then you live on Dayquil.
Then you live on Dayquil.
Like you do.
Wow. Okay. This just got real. We're talking today about how to have success through having a positive mental attitude. We brought in my brother from another mother, Dr. Vin Mova. By the way, I like to call him Dr. Champagne Super Mova.
I love that.
He's unbelievable. Now, sir, for people who don't know who you are, they're just getting themselves, they're just kind of getting orientated. They're cognitively trying to figure out, who are you? Can you explain to the people out there what problems you solve and what you do, sir?
Absolutely not a champagne-related problem. So
okay.
that's a totally different one. So as I said, I'm a medical doctor, so I do treat the body basically. I'm mostly orthopedic conditions, sports-related conditions, joints, ligaments, tendons, muscles, anything that you're hurting or deteriorating. And that's where I see most of my patients.
If people want to get a hold of you, they want to hire you, they want to say, hey, I have some pain, I don't want to have some surgery. How do they get a hold of you?
Well, they can obviously they can, as you said, like you can Google. Obviously, I mean, you can find all the information on Google, and they can go to the website as well. And I can give you the website. It's Region Ortho Sports. So we'll break it down: Region, REGN, Ortho, and Sports. So basically, we cover regenerative medicine, orthopedics, and sports medicine. Now,
principle number 5 is you must see yourself as a success. Napoleon Hill goes on to say, our only limitations are those we set up in our minds. This right here, I think there's some people out there that have delusions of grandeur, which is where you believe that you are the God's gift to everything. You believe you're awesome. You believe you're the best, and you don't have a work ethic to back it. Somebody else on the other end of the spectrum who says, maybe you're very talented, but you don't believe you have what it takes. For whatever reason, you just have never believed that you can do it. Z, what advice would you have for somebody listening right now who's kind of going, I don't believe that I can do it. I just don't know that I qualify. I don't know that I have what it takes to be a success. What advice would you have?
You're probably right.
What? That was not the kind of feedback that I was looking for, my friend.
Well, the first step is your mindset. And if that's your mindset, you're probably right.
So what?
You're probably right. So I mean, at some point, you kind of listen. If you're not going to get a positive mindset, I don't want to waste a lot of my time sitting here trying to coach you up. And if you're going to, if you're sitting going, I'm gonna wreck my car today. I'm just going to drive into that wall. I'm going to wreck your car. You're like, oh, okay, you probably are. I mean, at some point, here's the thing. We all are in charge of what we are thinking. We're all in charge of our brain.
I think
and
this way because of the way I was raised. I grew up poor.
I didn't have a chance because I
grew up poor.
I was born in the country, not in America, and I can't just, you know. So
I grew up poor, Z.
Therefore, you know.
So much poor.
The thing about it is, you just want to reach up and go psh, psh, and slap them and say, "Listen, step one, you got to believe in yourself.
You grew up without money. You grew up without money.
You got to believe in yourself."
Somebody's saying though, like they can't be successful because they need the government to come and help them.
Oh,
Z, come on.
Wow, stop it. Psh, psh, slap them and say, "Listen, you know, you got to flip that switch in your brain. No one can flip it for you."
I live in South Dallas. I live in North Tulsa. I live in East Coweta. I just don't have what it takes. I was born in the wrong city. My dad didn't know what he was doing.
I got the wrong last name.
I'm 54 and I've never had success
I
yet.
just had a cool name.
Maybe it's too late then.
You know, but that's the thing about it is, and you say, what do you say to someone who thinks that they're not going to ever be a success? You know, you're probably right. You know, I mean, the thing about it is, do you want it? Do you want to be successful? Do you want to start a business? Do you want to grow that business? You can do it. But you know what? You've got to want it. I'm
going to wear you out.
You got to flip that mental switch.
I'm going to wear you out because I have to. Because these are things people have told me before. You don't understand, though. I'm in an industry that's shrinking. Would you advise them to just switch industries?
No. Maybe add some other layers of things you do. Dominate your industry. Are you still making money doing the thing you're doing?
It's hard to find good employees, Z. It's hard to find good people.
Just shut the door. You're right, it is. Just shut the door. Lock it up.
It's hard to find capital.
Find a soup line.
It's hard to find capital.
There's people giving out soup, you know.
The economy's tough.
The economy's tough. We had a recession.
Hey, listen, Trump just won. Now it's going to be Armageddon. Next thing you know, it's World War III. I can't start a business under these economic climate. I need to take it. The college has given me the entire week off so that I can mourn the new president.
That's like a four-slapper right there. So I'm telling you what, folks, step one is getting that mental positive attitude that, you know, here's the thing about it. You've got to want to. You got to want.
Don't you want me, baby?
You got to say to yourself, listen, at least I want to have the want.
Oh, wow.
That's a good first step. Okay, now we're at least getting somewhere, you know. But if you think a business coach is going to come along and coach you on those first steps of trying to get you to want something, don't you want it? Don't you want that?
Don't you want to want it?
Don't you want to
I want you to want you to want it.
Don't you want me to want you to have it? I mean,
Dr. Mova, you've hired people over the years. Why is it so frustrating when you hire somebody who doesn't want to be successful or doesn't want to do the job right? Why is that so frustrating?
Well, as Dr. Z said, like, you know, if you don't have it in you, I mean, like, it's kind of, they have to make sure, like, you know, okay, I want to work, I want to be part of the team. If they don't have it, like, it's a hard task to get them motivated. But so in order to have a healthy culture, and, like, you know, the patients have to feel, for at least in our office setup, we all got to be on the same page. We all have to have the same passion. If they don't fit in there. So 4 people's work, 1 person can easily destroy that thing. So,
I have one way that I motivate people that don't want to be motivated. If they're employees, typically, I have one way that I do it. Z, you want to know?
Oh, tell me. I'm sitting on pins and needles.
I fire them.
Yep.
Because so many people have called me and said years later, they've said, I'm not kidding. I have two men I can think of right now who've called me in the last probably year.
Yeah.
Who've said being fired by you helped me the most. And at first, when I fire someone, I mean, literally, I'll talk to you. I'll say, hey, we need you to fill out the checklist. And they'll say, I'll try to remember. So fine. So I meet them again. We need you to fill out the checklist. Second time, I document this stuff. You know, I haven't lost, if you look me up, I haven't lost ever an unemployment dispute in the state of Oklahoma, ever. Then the third time, hey, you know, sign here, fill this out, you're done. What do you mean? It's not working out? You're done. We're moving on. We're done. And 2 times in the past just few days here, had a guy reach out to me and say, hey, I want you to know being fired by you helped me. Like it helped me get that fire, get that motivation I needed. But for whatever reason, I just thought that maybe I would eventually figure it out. And they start to drift around, and you just can't put up with it. And if you are listening right now and you're self-employed and you're not motivated yourself, you've got to find a way to do it. I'm going to give you 3 moves here. 1, put up big visuals of whatever motivates you. Put up big visuals. Put them up, pictures, graphics, images, whatever it is, so you see on your mirror the picture of the house, the car, the whatever you want. That's a move.
The why.
2, Get yourself the right positive music in the morning, the right positive atmosphere. I'm being super serious. The positive atmosphere and the music, the mojo, maybe that'll help you. Third, surround yourself with people who aren't idiots. And someone else is going, but there's idiots out there? That's so mean. I'm just saying, there's a lot of idiots out there. Stop being around idiots, because you got to just see how important is it to you for you to surround yourself with positive people if you want to become a positive person.
Oh, it's very important because, you know, you run with the pack, you run with the dogs, you're going to get fleas. I mean, when you look around at the people you surround yourself with, that's a reflection of who you are and what your values are and how you're going to go through life. I mean, that's your pack. That's your wolf pack.
If you're listening right now, if someone's listening right now and they are surrounded by idiots and they know it, how do you begin to change your social circle?
Well, what you do is you stop responding to the idiots and say, hey, let's go out and play billiards all day today and skip work, okay? Call in sick, let's go do that. You know what? You say, listen, I'm not going to respond to you. I'm going to get a new friend that's not an idiot, and you're an idiot, so therefore I'm cutting you off.
We rolled together.
Cutting off a dude is tough.
But we rolled together. We were in the frat together, bro, and we have no idea. Like the brands, we have the same brands, the same tattoos, bro. We memorized the same frat songs, Z.
I tell you what, it's one of the toughest things you have to do, and I've had to do that in my life, and weaving out and carving out people that are bad influences on you is necessary to go to the next step.
Principle number 6 coming up next. Hello, Tulsa, Oklahomies, Green Country, people throughout America, people who are not in America, people who are on other continents, potentially other planets. Welcome to the Thrivetime Show. This is the mothership of entrepreneurship. Some people are wanting to start a business. They're wanting to grow a business. They went to business school, and you know who you are. You went back to business school. You got that certification, that degree, that whatever it was, and you still don't know how to do it. Well, guess what? We're going to teach you specifically how to start and grow a successful business every day from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's live. It's the Thrivetime Show. It's a game changer. It's a life changer. It's the Thrivetime Show. My name is Clay Clark. I'm the former SBA Entrepreneur of the Year. I've had more Dayquil today than anyone should have. I was reading the label, and really, I mean, all the warnings that they have, I've exceeded all those. I'm here. The active ingredients are kind of scary, but I can tell you this. It says, stop use and ask a doctor if you get nervous, if you get dizzy, or sleepless. And I've realized I'm not asleep. I'm a little dizzy. Z, we're on the radio show. I'm a little bit nervous. Your two doctors, Dr. Z, Dr. Mova, I guess I'm supposed to ask you, Z, what do I do?
Well, I'm not a real doctor, so I'll put that over at Dr. Mova. But I tell you this, the big heavy equipment we have outside, I am not going to let you go and use it this afternoon or this evening.
I was going to use the bulldozer, though, to read.
I know. I'm not going to. I'm going to say, time out. I'm going to hide the keys. Everybody hide the keys to the bulldozer. Clay cannot get on the bulldozer. Because not only you love to go out in the Arkansas River and move the sand dunes around.
We're broadcasting here at this super sexy space called the Riverwalk. It's beautiful in Jinx, America.
Just walk around.
On the left coast of the Arkansas River. It's beautiful. I was going to go out there and build my own low water dam to get that done early. I want to make progress happen. I was going to build my own low water dam, but I can't do it today, I guess.
You know what? Google's supposed to have this really cool headquarters, and all the kids want to work there. And it's supposed to be like the number one place to work all that. No. I would put our Thrive15.com headquarters, i.e. the studio that does the Thrivetime Show, I would put that up against this space is super cool. And one of these days when you come out for an in-person workshop, those listening that are Thrivers out there listening to our show right now, when you get that chance, you'll get to actually see our space. You'll say, oh my gosh, this is really cool.
Action step for anyone listening right now. Get on to just email us right now, info@thrive15.com, and book yourself a workshop. I'm telling you, book a workshop. You go, how much are they? Listen, we've made it where that anybody listening, everybody listening, everybody, my body, everybody it's 100% affordable for you. We have scholarship programs, we have discounts, we'll make it happen for you. But the only thing we could do to make the space sexier, more beautiful, more incredible,
come on,
to increase the pageantry, the accoutrements,
pageantry. I like that.
The only way we can make it more festive was to bring on Dr. Champagne Super Mova. Dr. Mova Mova, how are you, sir?
I feel like a star right now. Thank you.
Woo! I'll tell you what, it's a deal where he's so beautiful. If I look over at him or on Facebook Live, if you watch him, I look over at him, it's sort of like it's intimidating. So I'm just going to look over here. So here we go. We're talking about how to have success through a positive mental attitude. And principle number 6, you must commit to over-delivering. I am pumped up about this, but let me go ahead and give you this notable quotable. It says, the man who does more than he is paid for will soon be paid for more than he does. Z, if I do more than I'm supposed to do, eventually I'll get paid more.
That's crazy.
You talk about word of mouth business, you talk about referrals, you talk about, why is it so important for everyone listening right now to over deliver for whoever their boss is, whoever their customer is? Why do they have to do it?
It's how you move to the next step in your career.
Come on.
Financially.
Oh.
In your business growth. In your personal growth.
Whoa.
You keep over delivering every single time, and it will be an upward trajectory of your life.
Boom. That's crazy.
And if you're watching Facebook Live, you just saw me do the upward trajectory with my arm.
I grew up in Minnesota.
Yes.
A rural Minnesota. Got a lot of these Scandinavians out there.
Sven.
And a lot of people, I'm serious, my friends were Bjorn Rauschendorfer. And one of the things they would do is it was a slow town. It was a town called Cokato. 2,038 people lived out there. And I will just say, I went back for my reunion, and these are some of the things that I would hear a lot. They would go, "Oh, for sure. Don't you know? Oh, yeah." And my wife would say, "So what do you do? What are your goals? What do you?" Because we go back for the reunion. I've been 10 years since I've been back there.
Yeah.
And my wife says, "So what are you doing with your life, or what are you doing?" Or we're just asking people, small talk.
Yeah.
And this guy goes, "Well, I work for my dad, up north." And north, it's Nort there, up north, and the economy's really tough right now. It's just hard to find a job, don't you know? And you're going, no, I don't know. Now, again, I'm not going to sit there and give people advice unless they want it.
Right.
Then I go to the next guy. How are you doing? Well, I tell you this, it's been tough up here, at the economy, how it is up here. We're struggling, we're trying to find jobs, the manufacturing isn't what is the Rust Belt's been hit hard, don't you know? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't participate in recessions. I've never had a time in my entire life where I've ever struggled financially since I've been in control of my own business. Since I was 18, I've had success, and I don't know I don't get it. I don't understand. And then you go to the next person. So how are you? And the guy says, "Oh dear." He says, doing very good. I started a home building business. My dad, his company was struggling, so I started my own. And I went out there and teamed up with the Finnish people. We're making saunas now. This is how they all talk, by the way. Starting the Finnish, we've been doing these saunas. We put them in the houses, and it's very good. And things are going great. But it's like you have control over your life.
Yes.
Or you don't.
Right.
And it's unbelievable how many people are listening, not to this show, but they're listening to other shows. And they're going, not you. You as listeners, you are the perfect people listening to the perfect show at the perfect time in this perfect planet in this perfect country. You have it together. Other people are going, I just can't be successful. I don't have. Z, you grew up without success. I grew up without success. Dr. Mova, he grew up in a big house in India, but you could have just mailed it in. You could have came over here and just decided to mail it in. Why are you motivated to have success, man? What's your problem?
What's my problem?
Yeah, what's your deal? Why are you one of those 1%, the 3%? Why are you so focused on doing a good job? What's your issue?
Well, I thought this is what everybody should do, right? Like you want to succeed, obviously. And as you said, there are two ways of looking at it. Either you can say oh, okay, I'm done. I have too many obstacles, or you can continue to, work on it. So, my dad's qualities, I think I have to attribute a lot to him being a hard worker. And again, he came from nowhere to where he was. So that's a great inspiration for myself. So
one thing that irritates me is geography. I get so irritated with the people. I went back to my reunion.
Geography.
No, I go back for my reunion. These people are going, oh, it's hard to find a job out here. Well, move. Just get in a vehicle.
Yeah.
Get in a train. Get on a bus. Get on a plane. Get on
It's
a
not
goat.
Russia.
Do whatever
This
you
is
have
Russia.
to do. Ride a goat. Just move. Just,
Rickshaw.
You've got to do. I mean, seriously, people are saying.
Rickshaw, yeah.
People are saying that. It's just so hard. My family up here. So why don't you move? Well, I don't want to leave my family. You know, I just with Bjorn. You know, I just live
It's
up here.
Finn.
Just
Young
move. Unbelievable. I'm serious. If you live in an inner city right now where it's impossible to financially get ahead, get out of there. And if you're in Tulsa, Oklahoma, according to Forbes, you are in one of the top 5 cities in America to start and grow a business. True story. Tulsa is one of the top 5 cities.
And we're going to help you do it on the Thrivetime Show.
Right here. Now, Thrive, as we come back, we're going to be teaching you the next principle. But it takes some faith. George Michael, Thrivetime Show.
Hello, Thrivers. Welcome to Throwback Thursday, Thrivetime Show, where we are going to coach you up. We're going to give you practical steps.
Oh, yeah.
Step 1, we're going to give you practical steps on how to start or grow a business.
True.
And number 2, we might have a little fun along the way. And who's we? Well, myself is Dr. Robert Zellner. I'm a local optometrist in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yeah, an optometrist.
So true.
Who's actually an entrepreneur trapped in this body. And sitting across from me is the most pale male in the world.
Hopped up
but
on
a beautiful man in his uniform, his suit, which he wears every single day. Not the same one, but the same look. Clay Clark, he's kind of a big deal. He's like the Small Business Administration thing of the year.
Entrepreneur of the Year back in the day.
The thing of the year.
And what happens is if you win enough of business awards, you start getting to a point in your life where you just have to drink copious amounts of Dayquil to make it through. But we're sacrificing.
This Indian summer, I tell you what, here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, it's beautiful weather. I mean, this is
beautiful.
like 65, 70s, wind blowing. It's almost like, it's kind of crazy. You know,
great.
I know. You need that first freeze and get all this stuff out of the air. So
These allergies are wearing me out. Dr. Mova, are you affected by the allergies at all, sir?
Thankfully, no.
Really?
So maybe I'm at least that I don't have it.
Is
so
that an Indian thing?
I don't know. Could be. Yeah. None of my family members have that problem, so I'm thankful about that.
Well, one of the things we love to do on the Thrivetime Show, listeners, is we love to get local success stories. Because here's the thing about it in business. You're going to learn by either mentors. Those are people that have done it. People that know how to do it and are going to coach you up how to do it, right? Or you can learn from mistakes. We're going to try to do more of the first one, mentors. And so when we have a local success story like Dr. Mova, who's doing incredible stuff, moved to this country, had the American dream, is following that American dream, and is doing awesome, we'd like to bring them on the show and highlight them and ask them questions about why and how they're doing it, because the little tips he can give on how he's doing it can help you in your journey. But one thing he's doing, which is really very cool, I find it very cool, is he is bringing professional football to the country of India. He's in the process of doing this.
Dr. Mova, how are you doing this?
Well, it's a big undertaking, as you said. Like a lot of people call me crazy and all that thing. But again, you got to have a big team and people believing in the same vision. It's a marathon. It's not going to be like an overnight thing. So we're working on a lot of grassroots developments and stuff like that. I
have a question. Mm-hmm. If I'm in India and I'm used to playing cricket, right? Cricket, is that the game?
Yes.
Okay. So let me, and again, I'm not trying to mock people from India. I'm just trying to give an example. So here's an example. So I'm going, I'm over there in India and I'm watching people play cricket. There it is. I'm doing this all the time, and I'm saying, this is what I'm used to that. Now all of a sudden, football. Do I even understand? I know people in India are very intelligent. I'm not saying they can't understand, but do they even grasp what the game is? I mean, why are these people tackling each other? What's going on with this ball? I mean, is it a foreign concept? Are they receptive to it? What's going on over there?
Well, there's definitely a learning curve, but the thing is, you're dealing with like such a young population, and these guys are, they're on Madden. They watch a lot of stuff online, so not necessarily they're very familiar with the game yet, but they're very receptive, so easily coachable, teachable. So majority of the people that attend our games, they're watching it for the first time. But
you're listening to the Thrivetime Show on Talk Radio 1170.
Yeah, so we have noticed that thing. Just one game, they watch one game live and they become instant fans of the game.
Are you teaching adults how to play football?
We have picked up the athletes that are familiar with contact. So people who played, rugby, soccer, wrestling, track and field. So we got them and we started training into American football. So it was more like a transition of their sport rather than becoming totally bringing them up from.
So on your team, you have 40 players. Let's say 40 players, 30 players. How many of them are from India? How many are from America? How are you breaking up the roster?
Yeah, I mean, right now, our plan is to get the grassroots development. So we're doing predominantly all Indian natives, and if anybody living in India, so that's our thing. Is once we roll into our professional league phase, which would be in 2017, that's when we would like to add some American players or international players to that league. But in the meantime, it will be all local Indian players.
Now, when you say people call you crazy, I mean, yeah, crazy. You've got a dream, you've got a passion, you've got a vision, but more importantly, now you've got a plan. You've got your steps laid out, and I think that's what people look at it and they go, "Oh yeah, you just bring professional football to India." But there's a lot that goes into that. And let's say 100%, we've got a professional league and we're playing there. Where are you in the process right now? I mean, were you halfway there? You a fourth of the way there? Where are you in the process?
Yeah. So our main goal is to bring in the awareness and increase the interest in the game. Basically,
yep.
We've been doing that for the last 2.5 to 3 years. So we're growing to the part like we're in the high schools right now. We're in the universities. We have university championships going on. We also conducted some national championships in India. So we are rapidly growing in the form of interest and the technique and all the ecosystem around that.
Now, principle number 7, I want to ask you about, because principle number 7 is huge. It says, you must learn that every adversity has the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. And I'm sure that as you've been exporting football to India, you've probably run into some adversity, some challenges, some pushbacks, some setbacks. So when we come back, Z, we're going to be talking about some of the adversity that you ran into when you were first starting your optometry clinic. I'm sure, getting the sign on the building, there's some adversity there. I'm sure getting permits. I'm sure trying to teach a group of people how to play a sport they've never seen before has some challenges. So, Z, when we come back, we're going to be talking about pushing through setbacks.
I tell you what, that's the thing about it. If being an entrepreneur and starting a business was easy, we'd all do it. And that's why you got to start off with the right mindset and the right mental attitude, because you know what, when the problems come, when the adversity comes, it's so easy to go, Billy.
Hello, Thrivers. Welcome back to the Thrivetime Show during your drive time home. It's a Throwback Thursday, and I know that you want to learn how to start and grow a business in the worst way, because you're going, hey, listen, I know that I don't have to be stuck where I'm at financially. Somebody's listening right now and you're just stuck in a bad place financially, and you're going, it doesn't have to be like that. I know that I don't have to be stuck here, and you're absolutely right. And so, as always, my name is Clay Clark. I'm the former SBA Entrepreneur of the Year. I'm one of the co-hosts here, but I'm joined with a guy who's really a myth, a legend. He's kind of my entrepreneurial hero. This guy has started businesses in numerous industries. It's Dr. Robert Zellner. Sir, how are you doing?
I am fantastic, and I am so glad 20, however many years ago it was, that your wife, when she worked for me, encouraged you to come and creep on my business.
Yeah, she
said,
then
i.e. me.
She said, well, my wife is, and she was working as the you got a
pre-tester.
The pre-tester.
Yes.
Which is where she blew a puff of air.
That's one of the things. It's not the only thing they did, yeah. But that's one
For
of the
some reason
things
I've latched on to that. What does the pre-tester do?
Well, they do all the, just kind of like the RN at a doctor's office. They do all the pre-testing to get into the exam room, and so there's a lot of automated things, chair skills, history, a lot of things they do to get them. So that's the one that's the technician that's with you before the doctor comes in.
She looked hot in scrubs.
Yeah, well, she's a pretty lady, but it's good that she said, "Hey, Clay, you've started this DJ business in your dorm room."
Yeah.
Okay. And you might need a little coaching,
matriculating.
Yeah, a little
education.
You've got the enthusiasm.
You got that enthusiasm.
You got the enthusiasm. You've got the want to.
Got the want to.
You got the want to.
I want to do it. I want to make my business grow.
You might, and she was so right, you might want to find some guys that have been successful in their business business and then maybe go and, maybe learn a thing or two?
Let me tell you how dumb I was before interacting with you.
Please.
So many things I would do that were so dumb. One was that nothing was written down. There's no processes. As the Canadians call it, processes.
Processes.
For some reason, I've done a lot of speaking events in Canada, so it's a kind of a
process.
Thing.
Yes, that's
processes. But the Canadians, what they would discover, that I was working with a mortgage company, and it's so funny to me looking at my life now. I'm 36. I kind of think back, going, "Gosh, I was so dumb." I want to go back and slap myself around. But the thing is, these mortgage companies. Excuse me, I got a little Dayquil infusion here. But what happens is the Canadian mortgage company, once they start to get mortgages and people who are finding them online who are saying, I want a mortgage, you realize when you answer the phone, you have to say, thank you for calling such and such mortgage. And there's a script for that.
Yes.
It has to be written down.
Yes.
Then you have to actually sit down with somebody and you have to go over their credit score. And you have to get this document and that document and this document. And there is a process, there's a checklist, there's a system that you have to follow. Otherwise, you can't write mortgages. I mean, if you've ever signed a mortgage, if anyone's listening right now and you've ever signed a mortgage, there's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of things.
It takes a day and a half anymore. I'm like, your arm's sore. You got
to initial all this. And there's a lot of documents to sign. And I was trying to run an entertainment company without any checklists and no written down documentation.
Crazy.
And it is just brutal when you work for somebody who doesn't have any systems. Trying to figure out what to do is frustrating. When you're a customer who's buying, this is what happened. They would see me at a wedding and they would see me rocking the mic, and I'm just banging out that music, bringing that energy, and people would, every once in a while, they would screw up and they would go, can I get your card? That was like the kiss of death. If you asked for my card, they would go, can I get your card? And I go, yeah, here's my card. My name's Clay Clark. I own DJ Connection. Call me, book me, the best entertainment in town. 481-2010, where the fun begins. Boom.
Yeah.
Give them my card. They would call me, and from that point forward, it was just a cluster of crazy. Because they would, I couldn't even schedule an appointment. I'm not kidding. And through watching your business, it's just a true story. When you book an appointment to meet at your optometry clinic, you book appointments at set times.
That's crazy.
But customers would say, hey, what time could we meet? I'd like to meet to learn more about your services. And I would say, around 6. Dumb.
What? This is stupid. At McDonald's, in your
around 6,
and your baggy clothes, and your earrings. I'm like,
what a stupid idea. Around 6. So people are like at 6 or 6:30. And I'm like, hey, I'll be there around 6.
I'll be there around 6. Yeah,
I mean, at no specific times.
Yeah.
And then I would get to your wedding, and I'd say, what kind of music do you want? And you'd say, I'd like some upbeat music. I said, fine, I'll play some upbeat music. Do you realize how general and vague and stupid that is?
Yeah, stupid.
Playing wrong songs for the first dance, screwing up announcements, just being stupid. Now I'm like so tight wound and just detailed that people would have a hard time believing that ever happened. But that was me.
That was you. And when you first came in the office, everybody was like, who's this dude creeping in the office?
Who's this goon?
Who's this dude? And then we found out you were Vanessa's husband. We're like, no way.
Yeah, just stupid.
No way.
Now, Dr. Mova, Champagne Super Mova, Dr. Vin Mova, sir, why is it so important that if anyone entrepreneur is listening to this, why is it so important that they get detailed and they begin to get specific about systems and checklists? Why do you eventually have to get specific and detailed?
Well, I mean, you want to be best at what you do. You better know what your trade. What Dr. Z said, so. Without you being completely involved in what you're doing, I don't think you're really offering what's necessary. So it's very important if you are committed to what you're doing. Absolutely, do your homework and get as detailed as possible.
Get detailed. Now, Thrivers, principle number 7: you must learn that every adversity has the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. I'm going to give you a notable quotable from Napoleon Hill. He says, when defeat comes, accept it as a signal that your plans are not sound, rebuild those plans, and set sail once more toward your coveted goal. He goes on to say, before success comes in any man's life or woman, he is sure to meet with much temporary defeat and perhaps some failure. When defeat overtakes a man, the easiest and most logical thing to do is to quit. And that is exactly what the majority of men do. More than 500 of the most successful men in this country has ever known told the author their greatest success came just one step beyond the point at which defeat had overtaken them. Z, that's a lot of stuff there, but defeat has to happen first. That failure is a prerequisite to success. Sir, what kind of defeat did you run into? What kind of pushback, what kind of frustration and problems did you run into when you were first trying to open up your optometry clinic 25 years ago, last Friday?
Well, I tell you what, there's so many. That's probably a whole show. But the bottom line, the takeaway is that, you could either, when you get, defeat's going to come.
Yeah.
Is the bottom line. Defeat's going to come. And people out there listening going, no, that's why I'm listening to the show. I don't want defeat. I don't want to ever lose. That's why I'm listening to you guys. Coach me up. I'm not learning by mistakes. I'm not learning by defeat,
I don't want problems.
Yeah, but you have to fail forward. There's been a lot of great people out there that have built very successful businesses on the backs of bankruptcies that have happened before that, So the thing about it is, like in my business, failures are, there's so many of them. Just getting their business process going, is so tough. And also having employees that steal from you, having employees that don't show up, having employees that quit you without a notice. These are all defeats. These are all things that you look in the mirror and you go, oh my gosh, I got to do something about that today. I've got to rally the troops. Nobody cares as much as you do when you start and own your own business. Trust me. And everybody else will treat it as kind of a hobby.
And just little things like getting a checklist done. Like this weekend, we have so many Thrivers all around the world who want to come out to our workshops. I'm working on checklists and systems right now so that when you come here in droves, everything will be specifically right. And getting that detail, getting that specificity done, getting that nomenclature, getting the files saved in the right place and gathered up, everything requires you to push through some kind of adversity. And I'll tell you what, the only way that I know for you to avoid, to completely avoid adversity, to completely escape that failure and that toughness is really do nothing. If you just want to do nothing, it's a move.
Yeah, it is a choice. There's no doubt about it. If you don't want to experience defeat, if you don't ever want to experience getting into a fist fight, just sit down and do nothing.
And Thrivers, right now, if you're listening, I want to tell you something encouraging that's so exciting. Is Dr. Robert Zone? I'm going to list off some of the things that he's involved in. Z66 auction, one of the most successful auto auctions in Oklahoma. Then you have the optometry clinic. It's Dr. Robert Zoner and Associates.
Yep.
Then you have the Z60. The Z's. It's the Z Sleep Center. It's the Z Sleep Center. So you help people who are struggling to sleep. Then you have A to Z Medical. It's a durable medical equipment company. You have the Rockin' Z Ranch. You have all these different businesses, and you know what? I mean this. I'm not attacking Dr. Z. I'm not ripping on him. I'm just saying he's a smart guy, but he's no smarter than you, Thrivers. I'm telling you, he can do it.
I concur.
He can do it, and you can do it. And we're going to teach you those proven systems. The same systems that he has used to start and grow a business are all available for you at one beautiful website. Z, what website is that?
A couple of years ago, we said, hey, listen, we can only business coach so many people. Let's scale this. Let's put it online. And that's what we did with Thrive15.com. That's THRIVE15.com. You can get on. It's kind of like a Netflix. It's a monthly fee of just $19. And yet you have thousands of videos at your fingertips whenever you want them. And we've done the hard work. We've gathered up these great mentors.
Spent millions of dollars flying around, coding a website, optimizing a website. And now Thrive15.com can be yours for just $19 a month. It includes workshops. You can call in, get your questions answered. We have thousands of videos. It's all available at Thrive15.com, the world's best business school. And as always, Z, 3, 2, 1, boom!
The number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year. We are Jared and Jennifer Johnson. We own Platinum Pest and Lawn and are located in Owasso, Oklahoma. And we have been working with Thrive for business coaching for almost a year now.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to share some wins with you guys that we've had by working with Thrive. First of all, we're on the top page of Google now. Okay. I just want to let you know what type of accomplishment this is. Our competition, Orkin, Terminex, they're both $1.3 billion companies. They both have 2,000 to 3,000 pages of content attached to their website. So to basically go from virtually non-existent on Google to up on the top page is really saying something. But that's come by being diligent to the systems that Thrive has, by being consistent and diligent on doing podcasts and staying on top of those podcasts to really help with getting up on with their listing and ranking there with Google.
And also we've been trying to get Google reviews, asking our customers for reviews. And now we're the highest rated and most reviewed pest and lawn company in the Tulsa area. And that's really helped with our conversion rate. And the number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year.
Wait, say that again. How much are we up?
411%.
Okay, so 411% we're up with our new customers. Amazing.
Right. So not only do we have more customers calling in, we're able to close those deals at a much higher rate than we were before. Right now, our closing rate is about 85%, and that's largely due to, first of all, like our Google reviews that we've gotten people really see that our customers are happy, but also we have a script that we follow. And so when customers call in, they get all the information that they need. That script has been refined time and time again. It wasn't a one and done deal. It was a system that we followed with Thrive in the refining process, and that has obviously the 411% shows that system works.
Yeah. So here's a big one for you. So last week alone, our booking percentage was 91%. We actually booked more deals, more new customers last year than we did the first 5 months. Or I'm sorry, we booked more deals last week than we did the first 5 months of last year from before we worked with Thrive. So again, we booked more deals last week than the first 5 months of last year. And it's incredible. But the reason why we have that success is by implementing the systems that Thrive has taught us and helped us out with.
Some of those systems that we've implemented are group interviews. That way we've really been able to come up with a really great team. We've created and implemented checklists. That way everything gets done and it gets done right. It creates accountability. We're able to make sure that everything gets done properly, both out in the field and also in our office. And also doing the podcast, like Jared had mentioned, that has really, really contributed to our success. But that, like I said, the diligence and consistency in doing those and that system has really, really been a big blessing in our lives. And also, it's really shown that we've gotten the success from following those systems.
Yeah. So before working with Thrive, we were basically stuck. Really no new growth with our business. And we were in a rut and we didn't know.
The last 3 years, our customer base had pretty much stayed the same. We weren't shrinking, but we weren't really growing either.
Yeah, and so we didn't really know where to go, what to do, how to get out of this rut that we're in. But Thrive helped us with that. They implemented those systems. They taught us those systems. They taught us the knowledge that we needed in order to succeed. Now it's been a grind. Absolutely, it's been a grind this last year. But we're getting those fruits from that hard work and the diligent effort that we're able to put into it. So again, we were in a rut. Thrive helped us get out of that rut. And if you're thinking about working with Thrive, quit thinking about it and just do it. Do the action, and you'll get the results. It will take hard work and discipline, but that's what it's going to take in order to really succeed. So we just want to give a big shout out to Thrive, a big thank you out there to Thrive. We wouldn't be where we're at now without their help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Morrow. I'm a pediatric dentist. Through our new digital marketing plan, we have seen a marked increase in the number of new patients that we're seeing every month, year over year. 1 month, for example, we went from 110 new patients the previous year to over 180 new patients in the same month. And overall, our average is running about 40 to 42% increase month over month, year over year. The group of people required to implement our new digital marketing plan is immense, starting with a business coach, videographers, photographers, web designers. Back when I graduated dental school in 1985, nobody advertised. The only marketing that was ethically allowed in everybody's eyes was mouth-to-mouth marketing. By choosing to use the services, you're choosing to use a proven turnkey marketing and coaching system that will grow your practice and get you the results that you're looking for. I went to the University of Oklahoma College of Dentistry, graduated in 1983, and then I did my pediatric dental residency at Baylor College of Dentistry from 1983 to 1985.
Hello, my name is Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Crockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours, where he does these tours all across the country, where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy. Elon Musk, kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant, and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal, and they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down, because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company, or navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us. This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. As you can see, it's nice, right? So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood.
This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
Whoa! The Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops, because we teach you what you need to know to grow.
You can learn the proven
13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.